something about it would draw to me and I would want to acquire or support that work. Some of it I buy directly from the artist, or others I do a trade with that artist. So I think when people think of collectors, people think of some rich white person who's buying work. And I think we need to change that narrative, where artists should support other artists and the galleries does not exist without the artists. So as artists, we have a lot of power and agency. And so the more of us that start doing that, the more we can change the narrative and the perception of who is allowed to own art and who does the art belong to. And so all of these works are all under $1,000. So I'm not like this person with a lot of money. They're very like cheap works that I buy. I've been like maybe like 3 weeks, I stop eating out and I'll save that money and then I'll buy the work directly from the artist. So it shows that this small sacrifice can bring a different energy into the work. And so like I'm gonna keep buying some more as I go on, but it's a like, and so for those in the Zoom, if you guys want to learn more about each of these artists, if you go directly to my Instagram account, I have an entire account dedicated that it highlights each one on the wall. So just go to IG and you can find out more about these individual artists. And then I think something else that's pretty interesting in my studio is I live with work in different genres. So this is a piece I did back in high school, probably my sophomore year of high school. And so I have it in the studio. I'm trying to pull it out for you guys. It's interesting. It's wrapped in a box. Interesting to live with work in different genres in the studio to see this evolution of the work. This is another one from high school. This guy over here. So I think it's interesting to see your work change and develop in different topics of exploration that happen. Something else I would recommend for my artists in the Zoom is when you develop a body of work, you should always keep 1 or 2 pieces for yourself in that series. Do not sell off the entire series. And this is advice I got from, I won't say his name, but it's a really amazing artist who's well known in the industry, where he sold off this entire body of work. And these work were selling now a minimum $250,000 minimum. And he cannot even profit off of that series because he does not own a single one of them. So as artists, if you make a series of 12 pieces, keep 1 or keep 2 of them for yourself. Don't sell it off to the galleries and the collectors, because in 10, 20 years from now, depending on how your career changes, you want to be able to benefit off of your hard work. And so if you have a piece from a series that's very popular, then if you're in a hard time, you can cash in on that value of the work. So don't sell everything off.
Morel, why is it important that we support other artists? And how can us non-art collector folks do that? So just buying works of our favorite artists, visiting them in galleries, following them on Instagram, any advice?
There's a lot of different ways. You don't even have to buy the work. You can like things like sharing the work for people who likes to collect work, sharing it on social media, tuning into conversation, asking for a studio visit for the artist. So there's a multitude of ways to support an artist. Oftentimes it's not always financial. There's other ways to do that. I've been in many opportunities because I work as an educator where I've had someone come up to me to do a programming and I go, it's an amazing program, but unfortunately my plate is full. But here's 3 or 4 recommendations I will give you and I'll support any one of them that you choose to work with. So I've done that multiple times where if an opportunity comes to me, I can't do it, and I pass it on to someone else I know who will come through on that project. So support looks different in many kinds of ways. And that's one thing, because sometimes, like this many times I will do something, I'll forget about it, and like a year later, they'll be like, I got the project. Do you remember me? You gave me a recommendation for this project and I forgot. Because it just happened very organically for me.
I want to ask, how did you get into ceramics? So you started with painting, but then you moved to ceramics, you said, for 6 years?
So, funny story. So my first ceramic piece was back in 3rd grade, and it was a small snail. My dad has it in his house back in Haiti. So it was a small snail that I rolled up and put some 2 eyeballs on. And then I was exposed to ceramic throughout middle school. And then in high school, I had an art teacher named Susan Banks, where she was in love with the ocean, marine life. And so I really took a strong liking to her lifestyle and what she was doing, and then the quality of the work that she was producing. And so if you guys go on my website, a lot of my earlier work are very much inspired by the ocean and things like that, because she had a very big imprint on me. But ceramic, I've had a little bit of exposure in elementary, middle, and then high school is when I really was able to refine the process for working with it. I went into my undergrad at MICA, the Maryland Institute College of Art, being an illustration major, because we're conditioned as artists to make sure you make money, you're not a starving artist. So in my mind, I thought, okay, I don't like graphic design, but I'm good at it. Illustration is where the money is at. So for 3 years in MICA, I was a illustration major, and I hated every single moment of it. And I realized in my junior year at MICA that me and the art directors were butting head. And so I had to take a step back and reflect. These are essentially the gatekeepers in the industry of illustration. And I'm literally not agreeing with their ideas and how they're interpreting my work. And so in my junior year of college, I realized that my agency and my voice was much more important for me than trying to follow direction based on what this critic or this director wanted me to do. And so I changed my major my second semester of junior year in college. Me being the overachiever I was, it didn't affect my graduation year. So I still graduated in 4 years because I was doing 21 credit semesters since my like freshman year of college. So really like nobody really knew my major in school because I was like in graphic design, I was in printmaking class, I was in drawing class. I really knew I was there on a scholarship. And I told myself, listen, something got to work. I'm an immigrant and I don't have a safety net. Like dad is not going to cover. If this doesn't work out, then there's no exit for me. So I exposed myself to every medium, every opportunity that I could get. Because for me, it was do or die. It was sink or swim. So I think because of that, being an immigrant, um, not having a backup, I was very pragmatic in what I wanted to do and what I wanted to expose myself to. And so as a result of that, when I changed my major, just like things were very normal for me. I graduated. Had I stayed another semester, I would have had two majors, a minor, and 5 areas of concentration because I took so many classes in school. I think that's one thing also for me, being Haitian plays a big role in the work that I do and the voices as well.
Okay. Cool. Was it hard to break into ceramics? I'm not sure there are a lot of Black ceramic artists in the U.S.
There's not. So across the U.S., I would say there's about 11 of us that are working on a active basis.